There we go, managed to unmute. Hello all, and welcome to day 252 of our 365-day streaming challenge. We are back with more Dungeons and Dragons. Who remembers where we were at last time? There we go.
We're off on an adventure in the sky.
You left the sky a while ago.
Okay, so the greater sky. We're in space. We've gone to the satellite, kind of around our normal world, and we're off to the planet where the slads and the frogs, tree frog creatures are. Those are the slads.
For sure the grungs, you think the slads are from here. Sort of.
I think we just had finished up deciding where we wanted to go, and
Yeah, I believe you had started heading off for the grung's place.
Grung World.
Which quite literally does not have a name. I didn't come up with it, they actually just don't have a name for it because the grungs aren't very communicative.
So the whole naming the convention of naming things is just not a thing?
No. Just one, they have an entirely separate language, and no one speaks it.
Okay.
And no one's entirely sure. Because while they can speak our language, they don't usually do it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So, if we speak, they can probably understand us.
Almost assuredly. Depending on some factors, yes.
Got it.
Okay.
But yes, you had agreed that that was the place where you wanted to head.
We want to save Feline.
That's right.
Yes, because Feline
Let's not
has
lose another person.
slad eggs inside her. Wants
Yay,
to have
You
them
only get
removed.
one dead person per campaign.
That's
one
not
dead
how that
person.
works at all.
It is how that works in ours.
So, from outside the world, basically, it probably takes about a day of voyage to get near enough to the world that you could even consider dropping in on it. The world appears to largely be a small green marble from even remotely close to it. There are no significant oceans or mountains, though some very small ones in terms of oceans and very small expanses of mountains do exist. Almost 85% of the planet appears to be covered in tropical rainforests, and even the areas that appear to be oceans look more like massive mangroves of partially flooded forests. Just before you left the station above Nexus, you were given the coordinates to the closest thing you've got to basically an embassy here.
Mm-hmm.
And if you continue to follow the coordinates, you're aware that there's... Calling it a docking station would probably be a overly grand summation. It's basically, you were led to believe, a landing strip.
Got it.
On a not super flooded piece of ground?
Well, most of the ground is not flooded.
Okay.
Yeah,
But is it kind of squishy, or is it...
85% of it is regular tropical rain.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, some of that still counts mangroves that aren't flooded entirely, but are more swampy, but yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
This is, one of the more stable areas. One thing that you will note, as you start to get closer and closer to the planet, though, is there are no significantly obvious marks of civilization.
Good.
Especially not one that is world-spanning enough to be some sort of smuggling operation like you know that these people are.
Huh. Is it possible it could be underground quite literally?
That was my thought.
Mm-hmm.
Or
I
just
mean,
maybe it's more in the trees more than anything? I don't know.
maybe, or they've done something where they've built their environment to really be secret tree houses? I don't know.
Just blend more into the rainforest.
I mean,
Yeah.
you don't really know what their, tech or magic systems are like, so maybe?
Maybe.
Hmm.
So,
That's helpful.
Should we go to the landing strip, or should we try and land at a clear patch of area, just in case?
I think the landing strip's probably a safer option.
Probably.
Just since,
Okay.
Okay.
well,
So-
since we know it's maybe built on the more solid bits of
So just heading straight for the landing strip.
So
So-
Yes.
Before we disembark, can I go? I would like to go and check to see how we're doing on power. In terms of how is our slave-powered ship doing? Are we going to need any slaves anytime soon?
Okay.
Just in case.
So, from what you can tell, because there's no like readout or anything specifically for this,
There's no gauges or anything.
it looks like. Well, I assume you're just going straight down to the hold, right?
Yeah.
So, it looks like you only had to drain power from them if you made course corrections or when you accelerated or decelerated. Basically, anytime you changed the active state of the, like, what I would generally call the engine. If you didn't change the active state, then it didn't seem to draw any power away, so you're actually not going down by anything.
Okay.
Like, there was clearly some life siphoned off by some of the slaves in stasis, but most of them have since already managed to heal that.
okay.
Alrighty.
So
It's a
we're
rechargeable
tip-top
battery.
shape.
Cool.
I mean, to be fair, you basically were given coordinates and went in a straight line. So you
That
probably
works.
only drained from, like, one slave when you accelerated, and that should have pretty much been it. Like, your landing progress will probably kill a slave if it came all from one person, but it'll probably try and spread it out a bit.
Okay.
Got it.
So when we're doing something that's very simple, like point A to point B, no interruptions,
We don't have to
we
worry.
should be okay.
Yeah, that should be totally fine.
It's just when we're like, let's go this direction.
Well, even just, like, the thing of landing is going to be very complex because you're going to be... You're not going to be just like, okay, decelerate to this speed, then stop on this point. You're going to be doing, like, okay, slowly decelerate as you're coming down. You're going to be having to adjust your angle of descent, and all of that is going to be burning through folks' life.
Okay.
Okay.
It would probably be more efficient if you just pulled it out of one person at a time, but then you would also have to replace said dead slave.
Got it.
So the system is, by default, trying to sort of, like, spread out what it's doing, but whoever's driving could definitely change that setting easily.
Okay.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
It might be best to be economical with our fuel
As it were.
without having to like capture and bring back captives, or until we find an alternate fuel source.
So, I assume that you are actually just going to land, though, correct?
Yep.
Okay. So yes, you
Yeah.
start to head down, and you're landing on what is pretty much just a very... I mean, for a like, mud hut and adobe village, it appears pretty big, but that's about the best you can say for this area. Like, you're landing on what is pretty much just a large cleared patch of ground. And there are definitely, like, spots indicated for ships of your size, and even some spots indicated for ships of a much larger size, but as you look around, this is, like, an area of slightly less dense trees, but rather small even still. Like, there's maybe, like, 20 little huts, because the grungs themselves are only about 2 feet tall.
They're tiny.
So there may be, like, 5-foot tall huts. There's some really extravagant ones that are, like, 8 feet tall that probably have a second floor. There's a significantly larger one over to one side that seems to be sort of like a... what's it called? Like, the thing you were led to believe is sort of an embassy, because there's a bunch of different like, flags and things painted on the side. But that's about the best that you got here. However, there is a procession of what you have, since you've never actually seen a grung, believed to be grungs waiting to greet you. There are, let's see here. Right, I wrote box text for this. It appears your landing was expected, and you're greeted by a contingent of tree frog-like humanoids. They stand about 2 feet high, and there appear to be about 30 of them, mostly Most of them are purple in rather immaculate robes. A larger grung, the color of burnt clay, stands at the head, flanked by two wilder-looking grungs, looking more like dry bricks.
I have a question.
Yes.
What color are their robes?
Their robes are just sort of like a muddy greenish.
Okay, I just didn't know, like, if they coordinated with their skin tone and their
No.
robes, or...
They very much look like they're designed to camouflage in with the jungle environment.
Okay,
Or they might actually just be dyed with colors they had readily accessible in the environment.
okay.
Okay, so kind of rough.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit rough, but definitely, like, rough in color, but not in texture. From what you can see, the texture looks, like, amazingly silky. The two, like, redder grungs definitely look very rough. Like, they don't actually technically have clothes. They just have a bunch of, like, tribal or shamanistic things hanging from them, like, necklaces of teeth.
Bodyguards to the
I was gonna
big
say,
grung?
the muscle.
What?
Bodyguards to the big grung?
Possibly.
Okay.
Or, what? Oh, hang on, wait a second. Oh no, wait, we don't know about their magic, so never mind.
You do not. In fact, only one of you even uses magic and could try and figure out if they were magical.
Do I need to go deal with him?
No, you should stop in a second.
Would they notice if I did?
They might, but there's no real way to tell if they would or wouldn't.
So,
And it's not, at least in your culture, just like trying to figure out if someone can use magic isn't exactly a faux pas. It's more of a just like, I mean, in your culture, it's a thing that everyone does to try and get advantage over everyone else. You just don't know how
Yeah,
these
but-
folks would take it.
so
Yeah,
should we
it's
Yeah.
almost like
go
knowing
down
what color
and
their
say
hair is
hi?
or something.
If you want to, that would actually just be an Arcana check.
Okay.
How big is Steph's crew again?
8? Is it 8 or 7?
It was 8. The eighth
We
one
need
fell
another
off.
crewmate.
So,
I'm looking to recruit. Not here, but maybe somewhere else.
So with a 14, you're able to tell that whatever sort of magic they're using, it's very, at least compared to your, like, crazy-ass warlock crap, it's very rough. It's some kind of nature magic. So probably druidic, or your people might consider it, like, ranger magic,
Oh, okay.
but something having to do with nature. But the two red ones definitely are magical.
Okay, so more like shamans than muscle.
Maybe. Is the big red one the, like, clay-colored one magic? Steph, did you get that? Or-
He did not strike you as very magical.
Okay.
He's sort of like, he was the color of burnt clay, so he's sort of like a very brownish orange.
Okay, so we have purple. What were the
Red.
So purple, red, and then like
Yeah.
clay color.
The purples are like a very clear, bright purple. The other ones are very like muddy versions of their colors.
Okay.
Okay, so like courtiers or something.
Um,
Or officials.
and the red one up front, while not speaking, is very clearly like indicating that you should come down and like,
Greet them all.
yeah, greet them and perform introductions and such.
Okay.
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 Can I get perception checks from everyone?
Yeah. Make our perception. Nice.
Not too bad.
Okay, none of you notice anything.
Oh, okay.
Guessing we had to get above a
I've-
15 or higher to notice anything.
I've done better.
Yeah, I've also.
We've done worse.
Oh god, we really have.
Alrighty.
Wow, I actually did not plan for this. Okay.
It can't all be nat 20s like last week.
Was it supposed to be a nat 20? Okay. So, you don't notice any... Like, there wasn't anything to be noticed about these folks. You can actually see everything about them.
Okay.
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 So I guess we'll go down and say hi.
Yeah, do we want to take any of the crew with us for backup and muscle?
I think we should just go by
Let's-
ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's let them watch the ship for now. If we need, we'll take one or two,
call for
maybe.
backup.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
we'll be all right.
So the little one, well, I guess he's actually not the tallest of them, because he's about 2.5 feet tall, the red one. Walks up and begins greeting you with a series of insanely guttural, like croaking sounds that don't make a heck of a lot of sense to any of you. And sort of realizes that none of you understand what he's saying, and corrects himself to start speaking in Draconic. Hang on, sorry, I'm trying to change a thing real quick. Just so I can make sure I know what this is about. Hang on. God damn it. No. Stupid PDF doesn't want to let me actually just see a single page at a time.
That's dumb.
That'd be too easy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, of course it is. There we go. Okay. Where's the page I'm looking for? There we go. Okay. So, the red one not red, orange. I can't remember colors apparently.
Rust. Kind of. I'm picturing like a rust color.
Yeah, it's definitely like a muddy rust color. That is probably appropriate.
So you
Probably
have
like-
rust, clay, purple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, rust bricks purple.
Rust bricks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, I am Lord Orange, the representative sent here to meet with you all. Have you had a pleasant trip?
So far we have.
Pleasant enough.
Smooth sailing so far.
What brings you to our wonderful jungle paradise?
Simply to get to know our neighbors amongst the stars.
That's quite ambitious of you. Well, so at this point, the other two little red ones, like, walk up closer to him. Let us be the first to welcome you to the larger stage and offer their hands to shake.
Can I make a quick perception check? If
Yeah, I was gonna do a perception check on that.
For what?
just to see if there's
Poison?
anything.
Hallucinogens. I know touching a
Anything suspicious?
touching a poison dart frog like means you actually get in contact with whatever they've secreted that makes you go a little nutty, which is why people buy them and lick them.
I mean, they definitely look insulted that you're not just taking their offer of friendship.
I'll take their offer. I'll
You know
shake
what?
their hand.
Okay.
Nadar?
Thank you
Also
for the
shake
warm
their
greeting.
hand.
What?
I said I'll also shake their hand.
Okay.
I will make a very courtly bow.
I need con saves from everyone.
Yay!
Stop
Even though I
that!
didn't touch them,
Well, no, not you. If you did, yeah, if you're not shaking their
I
hand,
didn't
then no.
touch them. That's my whole point. Is like I don't want to touch them.
Oh,
Okay, so pretty much immediately after touching the, well, actually, yes. Which one of you is shaking hands with the rusty orange one?
Well, ooh,
I said it first, so I guess I would.
Okay. So you're totally fine, which means that Nadar is shaking hands with one of the red ones. Nadar, pretty much the second that you shake hands with the grung, you immediately feel insanely hungry and start looking around for any food.
I don't think I have anything in my. Oh, I have an alchemy jug.
No, like, you
Oh.
just actually start looking around for food, not liquid. The orange grung seems to notice that and points out that we do have a wonderful feast laid out for you if you would care to enjoy.
I feel like this is just gonna get me in deeper.
Well, no, it's directed to all of you, not just you.
Thank you for your kind hospitality.
And I'm gonna make some sort of kind of bow and go feed myself.
Okay. What about the other two?
I thank them for their
Kinda-
hospitality, and I go along with them if that's where we're headed.
Okay.
Yep.
Nadar, your basic... Whatever has happened to you makes you actually just, like, unable to not just run over and start eating as much food as you can.
That's why I kind of bowed and
You got the magical munchies, is what's happening.
Pretty much, yeah.
that's why.
Can I
that's
do an
why
Arcana check
On...
on Nadar?
Uh,
Obviously, he's
Sure.
acting kind of funny.
sure.
Because you're usually like the king of suave.
There is nothing magically wrong with Nadar.
Oh, okay. I just wasted a good roll. All right.
Those are both excellent rolls
I
here.
think, I,
No.
think, I think you should have done. Maybe somebody should do a medicine check on me.
You can do that once you manage to catch up to Nadar after Nadar has finished shoveling whatever food he could immediately reach into his mouth.
Oh no, honey.
Starving. I'm just starving.
Yeah, you are entirely
That
capable of
trip
talking.
was so long. What?
You are entirely capable of talking. Like, you just have to... Functionally, you have to use your action to eat something whenever food is within range.
For how long? Do I know?
Let me check and see. It's not very long.
Can I
basically-
say something to the effect of, I am so sorry. I just all of a sudden got incredibly hungry, and I appreciate the food. Kind people.
Yes, you can. Basically, after about a minute, it'll wear off. And I assume the other two of you are going to come sit down and enjoy a wonderful free lunch as well?
Yes, I mean, are our hosts sitting with us as well?
They're like sitting nearby, but they are largely avoiding this. It doesn't seem like most of this is food from here. It all appears to be food that they have imported specifically because your kind would more enjoy it. So it's
Okay,
basically a
then.
lot
Can
of
I-
like lightly
So-
cooked meat.
So is it possible that they didn't realize that by shaking hands this would happen, or that?
I don't trust them.
Can I make some sort of perception check to see if they knew that?
That would be an insight check,
Insight check. Sorry.
which I think you're actually better at insight, aren't you?
No, I'm the same.
Oh, I thought you had intelligence as like a major stat.
Insight is wisdom.
Oh, well, that actually makes a hell of a lot more sense.
I was gonna say, could I roll for it to see if I could help with that? Ooh, never mind. You don't need my
You might
help.
need no.
You don't need my help.
So sorry, you were trying to figure out whether or not they knew this would, touching them would have that effect on you?
Yeah,
They knew.
they knew.
They knew.
Can I do another insight check to see if there was any malicious intent behind it?
I'm gonna say you have disadvantage because you weren't paying that close attention to it at the time. But yes.
Oh, probably not.
Ooh.
Oh dear.
So you're not sure whether or not it was malicious or if this is some sort of weird hospitality ritual. But the other two of you said you were going to sit down and eat as well, just to enjoy.
Mm,
Like a small
I'm gonna
plate.
sit
Okay.
down. Can I fake eating?
Yes, you can. Give me a sleight of hand check.
Boop.
Yeah, with that's pretty decent. Yeah.
Okay.
You basically just start. You're only picking up little pieces that it looks like you could eat in one bite, and then disposing of them underneath the table or something, or like filling a pocket with them.
Okay. I'll fill a pocket with them. Ah.
So
Sweet.
basically, after about a minute or two, once the whatever seems to have worn off of Nadar, a large green dragonborn actually slips in pretty much right next to all of you and is sort of like staring at you, sort of worried, like, did any of you eat?
I had a few mouthfuls.
I assume that he walks over as, I'm sorry, I have now, Alcina is, like, putting a significantly large piece of meat in her mouth and he goes, no. Nom, nom, no.
I had actually taken like a small plate to be polite, but like.
Were you eating it though, Alcina, or did
Yes,
you do?
I was. Yes,
Oh, okay.
several mouthfuls have passed into my stomach.
Okay, this
Why?
is,
Oh,
I need all of you to come with me.
okay.
Okay.
And
First of all, who are you?
I'm, Alto Thraxian, Her Eminence's ambassador to the Grung.
Got it.
Alright.
I tried to get your attention before you shook hands with your, wonderful welcoming
shit,
party.
That was what we missed. Damn it.
You should try it harder next time.
I mean,
Just saying.
if we don't roll high enough on perception, there's not much we can do on that one.
That's true.
I'm technically not supposed to be here yet to talk to you,
Mm-hmm.
so we need to leave as quietly as possible.
Okay.
Alright.
Do sneaky sneak check.
He sort of like points you towards the large building that you assumed was sort of the embassy because it's got all the different flags and stuff painted on it.
Mhm.
And he quite literally turns invisible and seems to vanish. Assuming that the rest of you all will get there somehow sneakily.
Yes. I'm gonna. I'm going to excuse myself to find a restroom.
Are you telling the Grungs that?
What? Are they watching us?
I mean, they're sort of like spread out around you in general.
Okay. I turn to the other two. How are we going to do this? Who's sneakiest?
Oh dear.
That might be
I-
Nadar?
Stealth?
I was gonna say, like, I don't sneak well. We've established
is
that.
Sneak dexterity?
Yeah, it's Dex.
I have 13.
I'm at 15.
I got 12. I have 12,
So in fact, two of
Alright.
you are exactly the same.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Not very sneaky.
Not particularly, no.
Okay, any
Well-
ideas on how to stealthily get away?
Apparently not.
No, apparently not.
We
Because like,
can make an excuse to go back to the ship and sneak around.
that's what I was thinking would work. I was like,
I'm gonna say, or no, hold on, pause.
Pausing.
Because I feel like I should be able to get away with something like, oh, I ate too fast, kind of a thing.
Okay.
And need to grab some medicine from the ship or something. I'm
Okay,
not sure.
fair warning. I'm gonna put a hard and fast time limit on whatever planning you're doing. You've got basically 2 minutes from now.
okay, you're
Just-
gonna sneak back to the ship, or we're gonna.
Can you just say we're gonna accompany Nadar since he's not feeling well now?
Yep.
Because he
And
just
then
ate too
sneak back
fast?
around. Yes.
Yep, that works. Let's do this.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll stand up and say something to the effect of, please excuse me, I ate too quickly and now I don't feel so good. I really need to go lie down and rest.
Oh, we can't let you
And
go away feeling our hospitality has been resulted in your poor health.
No,
Please
no.
let us help you.
No, it's all right. We have some medicine on the ship just for this. I was just so excited that we came and you guys had been so kind to prepare food for us, and I jumped in way too quickly, and now I really need to go lie down and rest on our ship.
Oh, please, we insist. Let us help you.
No, we have a doctor on board. We don't mean to impose. We'll just be back
Yes, you guys
soon.
have done more than enough for us. We really
You,
appreciate it.
there are crew you didn't bring off the ship? Well, please, welcome them down as well.
No, they're not the best at,
Their table manners are atrocious.
yes, thank you.
Oh, madam, we live in a jungle. Table manners are no issue. Please, invite them down as well.
Can I
How
make
about for a later
persuasion check
meal?
for this?
Uh,
To try to get this across?
yes, but first I need Alcina to make a con save,
Oh,
and
bummer.
I
Okay.
need Nadar to make a con save with disadvantage.
Why?
What's
Because
Oh,
you ate
no.
way more
Ah.
food.
Oh
This
no.
is fucking 8. Con.
balls. Just
Guys.
balls. It was not a nat 1.
True.
Was that a second? Wait, what was my other roll?
You didn't get a...
You- No.
No,
Oh,
sorry.
the
I was
previous
checking
roll.
to see, like, I was afraid I had rolled 2 9s already today.
Well,
No, I'm good.
Feline, your two compatriots, almost mid-word, collapsed to the ground unconscious.
Oh dear, yeah, I need to get them back to the ship. Please excuse us.
No.
We'll be
it's-
alright. No. We'll
There's
be fine.
clearly
Can
something
I
wrong
do
here.
a-
We need to help.
We have.
We do have a doctor on board who is very experienced in this sort of thing. Can I
Please-
do a persuasion check?
Sure.
please, please.
All right.
I actually can't see what you rolled, so hang on.
Let
Okay,
it process. Come on.
hang on.
Come on.
Hey, Steph, switch back to your character, Feline.
Oh dear.
Yep, that was definitely better, and they sort of... It doesn't even look like so much like you persuaded them as they sort of back off. And then surge forward, offering to help you carry them onto the... back onto the ship.
Right. If you could just, that's alright. I'll, yell to my crew. They're in shouting distance, right?
I mean, they probably are, but at this point they're very insistent that they help you carry them onto the ship.
Please don't.
Maybe to the base of the
Can
ship,
you...
and then the crew takes this on?
Can't let them touch you guys.
I'm calm, like,
They're already unconscious. They can't be
Okay,
more
so it
points.
doesn't really matter.
Okay, we can't.
Alright, if you would just help me carry them to the base of the plank. Or
They're
the
touching
ship.
me. They're touching us.
Sorry.
They're touching us.
You don't even know
I
about
don't-
this, freaking Alcina. You didn't shake hands with them, so
I knew about it. That's why I did shake hands with them.
you were suspicious.
Yeah,
That's all.
100%. That was some metagaming bullshit there, Miriam.
Okay, then never. I'm just gonna bow. This seems
We knew they were sneaky from the beginning.
Okay.
So, not
So
really,
yes,
but
they
yeah.
the swarm of purples basically pick up your two companions and sort of carry them over.
Alright. So we get to the base of the ship and I say, that's fine, you can put them down and I'll
You
yell
say
to the
that,
crew
and they continue walking on board the ship.
Excuse me! Alright.
Can you do like an intimidation check to
Yeah.
just?
Where is it? There it is.
Ooh.
So after that
They just
attempt,
keep walking.
so after that attempt at intimidation, they basically look back at you for a second, run on board, and just sort of ask where the physician is, and take these two below decks.
Oh god. Oh,
Alright,
yeah.
I'll follow
No.
and quietly warn my crew not to touch these guys.
Okay. Can you give me a perception check?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So basically, they drop off the two unconscious people on the beds, and just sort of stream out of the ship from that point.
Crap. Okay.
Oh god.
Nothing's wrong. It's fine.
Oh god.
All right.
Ugh.
Yeah. So. Guess get the doctor to look at him, because I assume there is a doctor on board.
They're your
I
crew!
assume that my
You
crew
have
still has their doctor.
Oh no.
He's sort of like looking them over and agrees with you that, yep, they were definitely poisoned.
All right. What can we do?
They should be fine within an hour or two.
All right.
Well, he sort of looks at them again and goes, well, Alcina will be fine within an hour or two. Nadar may take 2 or 3. We'll see.
All right. We don't have any medicine on board, or medicine that you know of that can help.
I don't know what they took. I'd rather not give them something toxic.
All right. I suppose I better go meet up with that other Dragonborn then.
Pretty
You
much
guys-
upon saying that, he sort of, sticks his head down from the next deck up and is, knocking on the floor.
Okay. Hello.
That was, quick thinking.
You know,
Yeah,
just-
it wasn't
we caused a
great
distraction.
though.
Well, these
It
two
wasn't-
aren't slaves, so you're already ahead of the game.
Slate.
Slaves?
Oh, shit, I forget I'm knocked out.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
I know nothing. I see nothing.
I
This is
feel
all
like
out of
for
Yeah.
these things we should take our headphones off.
So, fair, it probably would be fair for you two to not hear any of this, but it doesn't matter that much.
Oh.
We're assuming that at some point Stephanie's going to pass it on to you.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Well,
So what? They would have tried poisoning us all and then carrying us off?
so fair warning, Althraxian is 100% here to sort of info dump what your people know about this society on you.
Oh, great. Okay.
All right, let's type.
Miriam, where's your notes?
I already have them open. I am ready to go.
All right.
So-
I literally I got notes are gonna happen. I got my notes.
Question.
Yeah.
Did you get your notes on the rust-colored one being called Lord Orange, and the 2 brick-colored ones, and then the 30 or so purple ones?
Now I do.
Okay.
Okay.
I wrote
Sorry,
that down.
I was more listening at that point, but I
Yeah.
have Lord Orange, colored shamans.
Who do hunger initiation or whatever, I don't know.
Okay, I'll dispense with it then. The magic 2 were red.
Red.
Yes, brick colored.
Yeah. And then there were the 30 purple ones. Okay,
So, we
So-
have Lord Orange, red, and then
purple.
purple. Got it.
So, Althraxian sort of starts to explain that, as you were made aware of on the station, we don't know that much about the Grum. Partially, it's because we don't understand their language at all, because we have no context for it. It's basically like a series of low croaking sounds, and we have no context for how to translate it or how to produce it ourselves. What we do know is that they put on this very primitive, facade, because it means they can get away with a lot of things that anyone who is less primitive could not get away with. He specifies that calling him an ambassador probably isn't the right word, because
Can you tell me how to spell his name real quick?
Alto, Alto, and then Thraxian, which is everyone else's
Okay.
sub-name if they're a high dragonborn.
Okay.
Because the larger community that the rest of your people are sort of trying to step into generally tend to frown on, slavery and smuggling and demon binding. But the Grungs pretend to be a lot more primitive so they can get away with that, and because of that we can't technically have an ambassador. But no one else technically can either, so we're just slightly more open spies, if you will. The reason why I was concerned about you eating all that food is they poison all of their food. The poison doesn't affect the Grungs themselves, but it is a way to keep their slaves relatively sedate, or actually massively overdose them so that they can take new slaves.
Makes sense. Alright.
I assume you saw from the air that there don't appear to be any significant civilizations?
Yes.
Yeah, we're still not able to explain that part either. We
So
know-
they're not, like, underground or anything?
We have
From what
no
you've
idea.
seen.
Because they're considered so primitive, we can't bring any significant magic or tech to check if there's any sort of cave systems or anything. For all we know, their actual society could be operating from a different moon or something.
Alright.
Terrifying.
We do know that they all appear to live here. However, as you saw, there are about 30 or so in that group that welcomed you. This village, in theory, is only home to about 12. And there's no village within about 3 days' travel of here, so clearly they're coming here from somewhere, but no ships besides yours have been here in days.
Alright, so they just saw a ship and just assumed that...
Oh no, they knew you were coming.
How?
Because it was well established that at some point not a welcoming crew, but basically the first Scaleborn ship was going to be coming to the planet.
Oh, that
And
makes sense. Alright.
when you announced that, okay, we'll be going there first, they were made aware of it.
Okay.
Okay.
Not strictly speaking by the ambassador, but they were made aware of it
Just
somehow.
in general.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, we don't know where they keep any of their slaves or their the things that they smuggle, because none of them ever seem to officially come to this planet, and they never actually seem to take anything from here, so we're not entirely sure. But we also can't perpetually survey the entire planet without some of our more advanced stuff we can't bring
Okay.
here.
Well, we're still out, so.
After this
Yeah.
massive info dump, at this point it's probably safe to assume that Alcina is up. Nadar, can you give me a con save?
Regular?
Yeah. With that, you're good. That's good enough for you to also wake up as well
Yay!
and
Are
get
we, are we like okay? Or are we just like?
Oh yeah, you're just probably a bit groggy, but yeah, and you can definitely get like the Cliff's Notes version of that.
Okay.
So, at that point, he's just sort of calmly waiting to see if any of you have any questions.
Look
So-
back over my notes real quick.
I guess the question is, do you have anything that, you would want us to do while we're here? Like, gather more intel, or...
I would always love to have more info on what in the blue hell they're doing. Like I said, we know they practice some sort of demon binding and some sort of control over the Slads, but not how. We've been able to figure out where the Slads came from, but not how they got control over them. We're also trying to figure out where they're selling everything to. The general smuggling operation seems to be sort of whoever will pay for it. The slaves is a bigger question, because they are definitely taking more slaves than they can possibly use. Just not sure where they're selling them.
So, with the slave taking, do ships periodically come in and then this whole kind of thing that we went through happens? And
Ships stop here sometimes, but most of them are generally aware of the Grung. From what little I've been able to do in checking them, they tend to leave with more than they came, though I never see it actually get on board the ship. As for the slave taking, we're actually not entirely sure where they're getting them either, but they definitely appear to be from a large spread of different planets.
Okay.
It's likely that that's probably the primary commerce that they're smuggling for, but they don't seem to be pulling from any specific place.
Okay.
The one thing is that they do seem, from what we've been able to figure out, we think they might be shipping all of them to one place. We just don't know where that one place is or who those people are.
Got it. My question, I guess, it's how are they getting people from all the different races?
We assume that it's the payment method that they're charging for the smuggling operation. We don't know how they're getting... We don't know how they are getting them off ships or wherever they're coming from to here. Or to wherever they're actually keeping them. But we
So they're
assume
getting
here.
Flesh.
And they just feed them relatively steady doses of the poison to keep them docile.
Gotcha. And so I know there are the few planets that are around here. This planet, the barbaric planet, and then the dead zone.
There's a couple of dead planets. There's also a couple of, like, much more rural planets. Or I guess, like, more technologically backwards, basically.
Okay.
But those are only within, like, a day or two's trip. Add a couple of days on, and you could reach hundreds of other planets.
Okay.
No, not even most of them being habitable, but at least some of them are and have species similar to ones that you all have seen before.
Got it. Huh. That's a problem. That we know so little.
We could try and get in on it.
On the slave trade?
The smuggling operation. This is a privateer ship, or it was. Yeah, try and get in on the inside and see what we can find.
So you want to smuggle
Might
for
be a
them?
rather stupid idea, but it's
Essentially,
something.
double agent?
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's sort of like scratching his chin. That might work.
Has anybody ever tried it before?
Well, we haven't had a ship before, so no.
Okay, valid point. I was thinking that too, Feline. Or something along those lines of somehow getting in on trading, and because we do have an interest in slaves.
So-
We do.
Or, yes.
We do indeed.
The only issue I see there is that the slaves are the pay that they're accepting. They may be unwilling to give our empire any amount of them.
Well, if we can arrange the deal in such a way where, you know, for our travel expenses per se, you know, that's
We could
our
also try-
payment.
You could also
We could
try
also
what?
try and bargain. Oops. Shoot.
Hmm.
Sorry, I clicked a button.
Uh.
Trying to get rid of slad eggs in a certain dragonborn.
He sort of looks at you and goes, "Oh, right, forgot about that."
Yeah.
Well, again,
Yeah,
unfortunately,
because-
we know where the slads came from, but not how they're controlling them. It sort of creates a bigger issue. Yeah, I'm not actually...
Well, if we get friendly with them, then perhaps we can strike some sort of deal.
Perhaps. I will warn you that Her Eminence won't like it very much if you make the Empire seem subservient to 2-foot-tall tree frogs.
Oh goodness, no.
Just trying to make
We'll
sure
just
you're
have to play it in our favor.
just trying to make sure you're aware before you commit to any deals.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, we could, make these deals with these tree frogs and go slaughter all those on the barbarian planet just to show our dominance. I don't know. Spitballing here.
I mean, I feel like the barbarians might be better allies in the end. But
I don't think we'd really be making allies out of them, showing them who the fuck's boss.
no,
Sure.
but I mean, like,
Like
if
I
we
said
had
in the
slightly more
title,
insidious.
dusting off the old murder train. Anyway.
I mean, it's been in the station for a while. It could use a
It
good,
could.
good run.
Yeah. A nice jaunt.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of that, can everyone give me perception checks real quick?
Oh yeah.
Yes, we can.
Let's not fail this one.
Please don't. I don't want to.
Damn it!
Oh, hello. That's not terrible.
Okay,
No.
well, Feline and Nadar have no idea what's going on. Also, Haley has vanished off the screen.
No, it's more I'm just...
No, Haley.
I've had such terrible rolls tonight.
However,
I'm sorry, sweetie.
Alcina, pretty much after you start talking about, like, making a fake sort of alliance with the Grungs, you pretty much immediately notice two small red shapes crawling across the ceiling.
I fucking knew it, the little fuckers. The little fuckers.
Yep.
Sorry. I
Uh,
knew it.
which notice you staring at them and go, well, again, in Grung, so you have no idea what the hell they're saying, like, turn around and jump straight at both of you, so time to roll initiative.
All right. Let's
Murder
do this.
train.
Yeah.
Sorry for the yelling, but like a little tiny corner of my brain was like,
Yeah.
well, are we gonna have to deal with them? Are we gonna have to deal with them? We weren't paying enough. I was out.
At least I'm not doing this by myself.
No, you're not, sweetie.
So-
We both got decent rolls.
Yay.
Okay. Well,
And you're awake.
okay. So Feline is at the back. Feline is definitely at the back of this initiative. So, Alcina, that's pretty fair that you get to go first. It's like, oh shit. So, what's your plan?
I mean, I got a throw-in sword now.
Okay.
Actually, how close are? Actually, they're leaping at me, aren't they?
They're pretty much leaping straight at you, yeah. They're within, like, melee range easily.
Okay, then I'm going to Sorry, I'm looking at what I have right now.
Hang on, I'll be right back. I have to go run and grab the iPad so that I actually have spells, because I'm dumb. The cable's got caught.
Okay, I think I'm gonna slash with my skill warp blade
All right.
because I have a new weapon,
Yay.
causing damage. Why not?
Do not damage my ship. That's all I ask.
Okay, I'm back.
I will try not to. I have a new toy. I'm going to use it. I'm gonna slash at them with my scale warp blade.
Okay.
All right. I think I put this in correctly.
Well, we'll find out.
Hopefully. Oh, okay. That's all the explanation.
Oop, yeah, that probably wasn't necessary.
No, but an
Um,
18 hits, right?
does it? I actually don't know for sure. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
13
To say, I
damage.
hope it did.
Yeah.
So okay, for the bleeding thing, how do I roll that?
Just roll a d4.
Okay.
Okay, that's what I thought was. What about the other one? Okay, so yes, that inflicts a bleeding effect. So one of them is bleeding very slightly and took 13 magical slashing damage.
I got a new toy.
Yay!
Up next is Nadar.
Let me also take that stuff off so it doesn't do
Yeah.
that again, where it gives everything about my weapon.
Well, you can also set it to just not include that bit.
Yeah. Well, I've also got it at another place in my character sheet, so it's not as big of a deal.
Okay.
So.
Hold on one second. I'm just fixing something. Okay. So, we're gonna use my soul knives.
Okay.
Make them hurt.
We should probably make sure, because I don't think you should be getting as much of a hit bonus on those, but I don't think you're gonna need it anyway.
So I'll be using. Well, I just looked at it and I get a hit bonus based on if I spend points.
Okay.
So I'm gonna spend some points
Okay.
for this. So I'll have 2 + 1 soul knives, which means I'll spend 4 points.
Okay.
So I'm gonna toss them both at 1.
Both grungs?
Yeah.
So 1 knife at each?
No, sorry, both knives at 1 grab.
Okay.
And that probably doesn't hit.
Ooh, that one does not, but you still have the other one?
That does not hit either.
That does not hit. Both of those get caught in a very thin layer of bark that appears to be growing out of the grung's skin.
Okay. So now we know 12 does not hit, but an 18 does. So.
That's a pretty big margin of.
Just a bit.
Yeah.
We'll
So,
figure it out. Let's
That's
whittle it down.
so up next are the grungs, who, after getting smacked in the air, sort of go, maybe not, and settle down on the ground. Let me just make sure before I do this wrong. So you're all in what is effectively a pretty tight little infirmary area. So one grung seems to chant something, and then slams its hands down on the ground with a large, angry croak at the very end. And basically the entire ground area of the infirmary is now a 20-foot radius centered on a point within range, has spreaded large, hard spikes and thorns. The area is now considered difficult terrain for the duration, and when a creature moves into or within the area, it takes 2d4 piercing damage for every 5 feet it travels. And were you not in this, it would look camouflaged to be totally normal.
Little
the-
bastards.
The other
So don't.
the other grung is also chanting, completes a slightly different strange series of noises, and also slams its hands down on the decks of your ship, and every piece of wood begins to like sprout branches and leaves and just seems to like start growing as though it were a totally normal living tree, and gets a couple of years worth of growth all at once. Meanwhile, so do the spikes, so they're a little bit closer and a bigger deal. So in effect, basically, in order to move 1 5-foot like space in here, it costs 4 movements. So basically, if you would move 20 feet, you only move 5 feet. Because the spaceship is made out of a ship. That's why.
It's because they took a wooden ship and stuck a bunch of other technology on it.
Yup. So basically, everything inside this infirmary is just growing out of control and pointy. Also, in such a way that it will significantly slow you down.
Alright, that is not okay.
Yeah, that
Alright,
was
question.
also pretty much everything they had. They're done.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Question.
Yes.
He's got range.
Is the Dragonborn still in there? I already forgot his name.
He was actually above deck and was he was very much not wanting to come down into the tiny little infirmary. Like, he is...
Alright.
He's pretty much the only thing in between them and escaping now.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Okay, that's
The
good.
doctor's still in there, isn't he?
That's better.
Yeah, he's in there with you. He's basically cowering in a corner under a bed, but yeah.
Aw, come on.
So he's helpful.
Hello,
Yeah, it's-
he's a
Stark?
doctor.
Hey, Stark, and yeah, Joey, it actually is very much like Treasure Planet. I think some of the Treasure Planet stuff was actually based off of old D&D Spelljammer stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
It's fun.
So up next, I believe, is Feline.
Yes.
Make
Those
them
jerks will pay.
They just
Alright,
fucked up your ship.
I know.
Okay, Feline, if nothing else, I have a lot of fucking ranged attacks, so...
And I can throw my
Good.
sword.
Feline is
Let's
also
kick their
a
ass.
ranged thing, so...
I just
Yeah.
mean, like,
So
I know her ship's really kind of fucking screwed, but at least we're not completely fucking screwed because...
It's definitely not the ship. It's this one room.
still,
Still fucked
it's
with
Alright.
my damn shit.
Kick their butts!
Alright. Eldritch
Make 'em
Blast,
pay.
1 per person.
Okay.
Nope.
I mean, you're level 5. You can fire.
Oh, hey.
You can fire 2 of them off.
Yes.
You just have to
Ooh.
roll
I
for the
think
second
that-
beam.
Oh, damn, girl!
Yeah.
So were those
Yeah.
Hell yeah!
were those both at the same one or different ones?
1 to each.
One to each.
Murder train.
Well, which one's going to which?
There's the one I hit and the
12
other
will
one.
go towards the one that Nadar already hit.
I
Okay.
didn't hit him.
Nadar didn't hit one.
did.
Sorry, Alcina hit.
Okay.
And the 7 will go to the other one.
Okay. The damaged one is definitely bleeding profusely, but is still alive. The other one just looks sort of shaken, but not too fucked up.
Alright.
You little bastard.
Okay.
So I believe next is Alcina. Yep.
Miriam, I'm really glad
Kick
I
their
didn't
ass,
hang
Alcina.
this.
Hmm?
Because I'm really glad I didn't hang this because now I can pull it down and go.
Hang on, Haley. I'm gonna rotate your camera so you're not
Okay.
flipped.
Yeah.
I didn't see what you did. Let me just pop
There
back
we go.
in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I basically like I pull this out and I go. And in reference to
You
Chewie.
will not give her a train whistle.
Aww.
Haley, it will fuck the audio so badly.
I know. That's why I'm
True.
saying instead of trying to make
Maybe
a
it could be
train
like
noise.
a button that we program in that she can press and like it makes a train noise.
Oh god.
An audio cue. There we
I
go.
know. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Steph. An audio cue.
If I can find a train noise that isn't atrocious, I will make that the bit noise.
Yay!
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 So people can throw one bit at me at the very least and make the murder train noise. Okay, anyway, we're done. Alright, I'm gonna try to
Okay.
Alright. In all
I'm clicking on the
seriousness-
link, but the audio shouldn't come out.
I'm gonna throw my sword.
That is a terrible band name there, Joey. Don't worry, I'll show you all later. Okay, throwing sword. At which one?
The one that I had caused damage to already.
You don't
The sword gets caught in the bark that seems to be growing from its skin.
Cool.
Oh,
So it doesn't circle back to me at all?
No, it is stuck in its skin.
Cool. I
Uh,
still have a pistol.
This does, I think, hang on.
Is it still bleeding though?
That does knock it prone, though. Because
Oh.
it has a sword that's twice as big as it stuck in its body,
Oh, good.
even if it didn't do any damage.
Anybody
Yes, you
wanna
do
shoot it
still have
while
a
it's
pistol.
down?
Nidar.
What?
Nandar, it's
I'm
your
gonna shoot
turn.
it while it's down.
Yes. Energy beam.
Make it hurt.
So I'm
Do
gonna
it.
do cold damage.
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay, that hit.
Yay!
Oh, wait. See-
If
Oh, no, sorry. It has to do a dex save.
It has to do dex
Ah.
save.
We can remove that attack roll from that. Where did I just put the character sheet? There it is. Okay. Dex save. Well, dex is its fucking jam. But it failed. So,
Yay.
is there anything in particular you say while using this attack?
Toot toot, motherfucker.
I don't think Nadar would go toot toot, motherfucker. So I imagine he's just this very tall, kind of statuesque dragonborn, and I can't imagine this like really regal kind of guy going toot toot, motherfucker. But
Say it like that.
Okay, well that grung is shattered on the floor whence it came. I don't know.
so what does that mean for her sword? Since I shattered it.
Oh no, the sword is totally fine. The sword is a magic item.
Can the sword go back to her?
Oh no, the reason it comes back is because it's designed like a stupid boomerang.
Okay, so once it stops, it stops. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, now your sword's not stuck in something.
yes,
Oh, good. But it's across the room, so I might have to use a pistol for the moment.
yes.
That's okay.
However, there is now a single grung left who is unhappy that you just killed his buddy.
Frozen
More
shattered
unhappy it was
his
Cyan
body.
and ruined my ship.
That's not
You know-
untrue.
You know, I think Nadar's gonna stick with toot toot, motherfuckers, just because of the connotation. So anyway,
Okay.
I'm imagining it being like said beautifully prim, like toot toot.
To be clear, that was fired at Feline.
Alright, so
I'm pretty sure if
21 damage?
no, that's
What's
Sorry.
your armor class?
Going back to it. 12.
yeah. I was about to say.
Crap, I
you
forgot
put
my...
Mage
I
Armor
was
on.
about to say someone didn't cast mage armor, so they're taking 15 hits. Give me a con save.
Wait
Okay.
a second. I should not be at 11 armor class. It keeps doing
It
this.
reset, yeah.
Yeah.
Mine did that
Yeah.
too.
I was at like 17 or 18.
Hey!
Hey
So,
Nat
you-
20.
You only take 6
Yeah.
piercing damage. You do not
Alright.
take that 6 poison damage.
That's
Okay.
0 temp hit point. And... You said 6 damage.
6 piercing damage, yeah.
Alright. I'm
Okay. Well, that was its entire move, and it's sort of
My
like,
turn.
oh shit,
Yeah,
and looks
done
behind it and
fucked up,
realizes
dude.
it can't just jump away. So yes, Feline.
Right, 2 Eldritch Blasts. Right in its face.
Nice.
Oh,
Good.
that's one.
Yep.
Nope.
That second one
No,
does not
but
hit.
still.
However, the first one definitely gives it a good smack in the face.
Nice.
Take it down.
Sorry.
Well, up next is Alcina.
Alright.
Alright. I don't have my fun sword, but what have I got? So I got my pistol.
Shoot.
Yes. Well, you have the real pistol and the random pistol. Because for some reason you have both.
Yeah, I ended up with multiple pistols. Anyways, okay. Let me just hang on. I'm trying to. I need to relabel my pistols because one of them is just flintlock pistol and automatic pistol.
Well, the flintlock is the random ass flintlock pistol.
Okay.
The automatic is not an automatic; it's a semi-automatic, but still.
Okay. We're gonna shoot him with that.
Okay.
Nope.
Nope, that does not hit.
My turn.
There is now a bullet lodged inside the ship.
It's a sleeping dart too.
No, you have to load it specifically with sleeping darts, remember? So that was a bullet lodged in the
Okay.
ship.
What did
Nadar.
I say about hitting my shit?
What's going on the ground? I feel like you have mixed priorities here.
Okay, this grung has
Soul
taken
knives.
17 damage.
That ought to
This
kill it,
one
right?
soul
Good.
knife.
I'm sorry, what are you doing with soul knives?
2 soul knives.
Oh,
Are
my
you-
God, that's 20
I think
I'm
that
damage.
throwing them at the go.
Oh, you're throwing them.
Yes.
Okay.
God, that makes 20 damage that it would take from
That grung is dead.
dead.
Yay! Good.
That grung basically just had its brain shredded.
Yeah, I took 2 soul knives and went pew pew, and or that really cool like shinking noise that things make when they fly.
Except that they don't even make that, because
I
what you
know.
basically went was just... You don't even have to throw them, you just sort of go like, knife!
Mental energy.
And it just flies into someone's skull.
Yeah, but I like the action of throwing.
Yes. So you are still surrounded by a fuck ton of spikes.
Hmm.
Also, your boards are still growing branches.
How do we
And
stop
the spikes are
that?
growing
Oh,
a
they
little
didn't
bit bigger.
stop?
Oh, no. Actually, I
Uh,
don't think either of these is concentration. Let me make sure.
I don't know.
Oh, sorry, yes. When the second one died, the spikes went away. However, your boards continue to grow.
we can't have this. Someone get the clippers.
the head clippers. I mean, I can get my magical sword and start hacking at them.
I mean, you can.
I won't because that's a terrible waste of time.
I mean,
But
your captain did say to go get the hedge clippers, and that's the closest thing you have to hedge clippers.
is my magical boomerang sword.
Yeah. I mean, are you gonna
Well,
try it?
Are they gonna keep growing? If
Well, only one of you is
Are they-
magical.
Well, I can use magic, but it's like not their magic.
You have like holy sort of magic, not really.
Yeah. not
Only one of you has arcanish magic and can I will willingly give an arcana check to.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know, like
that'd be
Feline,
smart.
your
Yeah.
ship, your magic.
your ship, your magic.
Okay. Well,
Not
hang
a-
on.
Decent roll.
That's not a very good roll. No.
No.
So they appear to basically what you're able to tell about the spell is that it turned all of the it revitalized all of the wood. It was dead and it basically just made it all alive again. They'll all slowly die, but until then they're growing at an accelerated rate. So
Ugh.
these will continue to grow for at least a couple of days. You're not sure how long.
Is it only in this room or is it the whole ship?
I mean, you haven't left this room, so you don't know.
I feel like there would be screaming from the crew if the boards
That's
started
true.
growing. That's just me. But
That's true, but we kind of need our med bay.
how's
Well,
the doctor
I'll
doing?
stop
Is he doing okay?
I mean, he's still
Yeah.
hiding under the bed, but
Okay.
yeah, he's probably fine.
Kind of cowering.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure like he hadn't been hit by somebody's rope bullet.
Now, everyone was pretty good about firing forward, not backward.
I'm just kidding. I'm really just kidding.
Great.
Nadar's gonna step away for a second.
Okay. I mean, I think we would probably be ending off after this anyway, because we've been going for an hour and a half-ish.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Cool. Doesn't seem like that long.
No.
Oh my goodness.
I love that...
Oh,
actually, I'll say this later. So,
I feel like toot toot motherfucker needs to be a quote now.
so
Yes.
are you looking to trim off the branches, or what?
Maybe hack a path to the door.
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, they are definitely still slowing your movement.
Yeah.
Alright. Hang on. Question. Chill touch.
Yes.
Is that... Can I use that to, freeze it?
It is necrotic, not cold.
Go see. Oh,
Yeah.
you're right.
It's like Chill of the Grave. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Stark.
that won't work.
I mean, it might kill the wood. Oh,
By reminding it was already dead?
yeah, but it's alive
Anyway.
again.
Yeah.
If you kill it, it might stop growing.
It wouldn't hurt to try.
I mean, it might stop growing, but that's not going to remove the fact that you are moving at a fourth speed through here.
Can I use a blast to try and create a pathway? Or would that hurt?
You can try, yeah.
Alright. think-
You're basically able to, carve a relatively large pathway, enough for two people to walk through at a time. But even as you're watching, it definitely starts to close up a bit. So
Alright.
you would have to move through relatively speedily to not get caught.
Alright. I grab the doctor and start jogging to
Okay.
the other side of the room.
Yep. And I grab Nadar,
Okay.
who I think it. Am I correct in assuming that Nadar might be a little wobbly still from all the poison.
No.
No, I'm great.
No, we're good.
Okay, never mind. Then I don't grab Nadar.
If I
But
recall
Nadar
correctly...
might still be a little, like, wobbly.
Oh, sorry, it was Feline who had a 23 to resist fucking poison.
Yeah, I was talking about Nadar who, like...
Yeah, no, I'm aware, but Nadar is also fine.
Okay, then never
I
mind.
mean, did you not just see the way I fucking kicked their asses?
I was adrenaline? I don't know.
So, are you just running back on top of the deck?
Yeah, we gotta get out.
So, the wood up here is not growing. However, half of your crew is unconscious on the deck.
They touched him. Didn't I tell them not to touch him?
You told them not to touch them.
They did.
Then... Shit.
Yeah, so there's...
No, but they'll be okay. They'll get
So-
back up again.
So
Yeah.
there's 4 crew on the deck, and the 5th one that you're carrying. So there's 2 that are missing.
Those bastards.
No, we...
Little twitchy bastards.
Okay. Can't be losing my crew like this, guys.
They're not as disposable as one would think. No.
No, these are kind of my people, not like the slaves downstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a big no.
Well,
Sorry, darling.
did the green dragonborn, who didn't come down to the infirmary, does he know anything?
What do you mean, does he know anything?
Like, did he see anything?
He was kind of focusing on letting the 2 grungs leave.
Okay.
Like blocking the door then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we killed the 2 rust-colored grunts, the red ones.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no, are these the red shamans we saw earlier?
You're
Or
not
are these other?
familiar enough with them to know whether or not they were the exact same ones, but they
Okay.
appear pretty similar.
Okay.
I'm gonna guess they're pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, it looks like we're going to have to go after your crew.
Yeah. Can we touch the ones that are already unconscious?
Yeah.
Or do we have to do another con save for that? Okay.
No, that's fine.
All right. I say we should probably like push them into a room and lock it so that the
They're safe.
what is it? The grunges? Yeah.
Lock
They
them
can't-
in a closet.
Not in a closet. No, in a room in like the dining cabin, and leave them a note.
Okay.
Stay put.
Okay.
Okay, fine, sure.
Cool.
All right, and then we can go.
Well, cause
Yeah.
are they knocked out? Like.
Yeah, they're
they
just
get-
knocked out.
Okay. I was just making sure they didn't get the hungry poison.
They might have
Um,
the munchies when they wake up.
They might, but the hunger thing only lasts like a minute or 2.
Okay.
Okay.
Poor little munchies.
Mm.
Poor little nuggets of the munchies.
So, where are you looking to head to?
Can we?
Can we take a short rest so that anyone who got hurt can recover?
Did anyone get hurt?
Well,
Nope.
I knocked
I
off
feel
like
like
4
the
points, but it's fine.
never
I'm-
mind. I thought we got more. I
Are you
thought we
good
got
on
more.
spell slots and whatnot? Spell
Yeah, I
slots are
haven't
long
used
rest,
any
right?
spell.
Spell slots are a long rest, except for warlocks, because they can do them in a short rest.
Okay.
Because warlocks are cheaty like that.
Oh, and I picked my sword up again. I have my sword.
Yeah, that was established, don't worry.
Okay, just like
Just to make sure.
You established it when you talked about chopping down the, branches.
this is true. My bad. I'm like I just want to make sure that I do have my magical sword
Yes.
Alright.
because that would be a very Miriam thing to do.
A little bit, yeah.
Go to me.
Alright.
Where's my
I'm
sword?
kind of curious if we should go investigate the village.
Yeah. But you guys should probably do the talking.
Why?
Why?
Huh? I was just thinking she'd probably be pretty angry, so not very reasonable.
Ah.
Like yelling like "Give
Like-
me back my insert expletive insert
Like,
expletive
what
insert
happened?
expletive crew.
Yes.
Um,
Okay,
Like
so
what
you're
happened
all-
at the records.
So you're all just gonna head down to the village?
Do we want to run that by the Green Dragonborn to see if he has any ideas or?
Yeah, that'd be
Altos,
smart.
is that his name?
Is he what?
Altothraxis.
Alto.
Altothraxian?
Okay.
Can I just call him Alto?
Altothraxis.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can. He's sort of just like, I'm relatively certain that we can't abide any of our citizens being slaves, so I heartily support pretty much anything you do to make them not be slaves anymore.
Good.
Because this violates at least 3 different established rules that I know of. So I'm gonna say go nuts.
Okay.
Gladly.
I'm also going to stay on your ship, not
Perfect.
the embassy, just in case.
That would
Can
be.
you keep an eye on
All
the
right.
crew then?
Yeah.
Yeah, of
Make sure they all
course.
wake up okay?
Of course.
All right.
Much appreciated. Alright.
Because
Off
I remember
we
I think I have
go.
some-
What?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, I just couldn't hear what you said, Haley.
I said off we go.
Away!
Yay.
Okay, so just gonna want to just search huts at random. There are only like 20 of them.
I think that's probably the best thing right now.
Okay. So, first, can all of you give me perception checks?
Oh, come on. Honey worked for me today. Damn.
Yes!
Right. This one?
Nice.
So,
Okay, it's just me who's the dumbass today.
so Felina and Alcina are just like, there's no one left here. Like, there is no one in the entire village.
Like, no courtiers, no nothing.
I don't know why you keep saying courtiers, but no.
Because for some reason, Lord Orange and his purple sycophants make me think of courtiers.
I don't know why you're going with sycophants either. They didn't say any words to prove to you that they were sycophants.
He has an entourage.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, so, courtiers. I've been reading a lot of romantic histories right now. And I am not ashamed to admit it.
Well, you should be ashamed to admit that you're doing that while streaming.
No, I'm not right now. Just recently, I've been reading a lot of it.
Oh, okay.
I don't have a good enough attention span to do it.
So with that, what are you actually trying to do? Yes, Nadar sees trees. The trees that are, like, away from the village. So, how exactly are you trying to find out where your people went?
Can I do an investigation check?
So, it's going to be an investigation check, but I need to know where you all are actually looking, not just, I roll!
I investigate the area.
I look around and I see things.
Yeah. Like, so the thing with investigation is I need to know what you're actually looking at or looking for.
I'm looking for traces as to where the entire group might have gone.
Well,
Okay.
because they like traveled in little packs, so I feel like there'd be some sort of footprint.
So with
Yeah.
that, I would say you can either use investigation or survival, whichever one is better.
Both of those are wisdom. Or no, hang on. I'll do investigation. I'm a little better with
Yeah,
it.
investigation is int. You can all roll this one.
Okay.
Damn it! I'm so done.
Well, aren't you better at investigation?
No,
Isn't investigation int?
maybe I may just be an idiot.
Or you might just be having a bad day of
Really
No.
bad day of rolls.
I think somehow Roll20 has been like, oh, she has a headache, and she took medicine, so we're gonna take those intellect
So, Alcina, with
points
that.
away from her and make her dice rolling really
So,
good.
Alcina, with that natural 20,
Oh,
you're
fucking Christ!
you are basically able to go, oh, there's just some tracks right over here. And
went that way.
follow them
Yay.
into one of the 2-story houses that's a whole 8 feet tall, so you're all basically like crouched over massively to look inside.
Okay, good.
The tracks basically stop though once they get inside because they have some amount of flooring that isn't just mud.
Okay, so probably like woven rushes and stuff.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
So,
Ailey, if it makes you feel any better, think of all my other days. How many days I've had shitty rolls.
so you know for sure that they went into this house, and there are no tracks leading away from this house.
I will say, at least I had the important good rolls.
The attack
You did.
rolls.
You're-
It's battle.
Yes.
Yeah, Nadara's just like, this fucking tree!
They went inside it. I know they did.
Like, there's actually just a tree next to this hut, and you're just like, it has something to do with this tree!
Can we start, are the rushes like mats that are layered on top of one another, or are they like, it's solid floor?
Miriam, to be inside this house, you are laying chest down on the ground with your back on the ceiling. This is for a 2-foot.
Narrow.
This is for a 2-foot tall creature.
Sorry.
Should I try and
my
blow a
question
hole
was,
in the
can we
house?
shift-
Can we just
Like-
pick the house up?
Yes, you could probably pick the house up. It would likely crumble if you did so.
Okay, never mind for what I was thinking.
Can I shoot house?
Sure.
Wait a second, do I still have my... I
Hey.
might.
What?
My secret door.
Yes, you do
Good
still
idea.
have that.
I still have the secret door thing, and I might actually get to use it correctly this time.
Use it. Or
Use it.
or blow up the house. I don't care which, honestly.
Do we
Do you
have
want
a
to save it
preference?
or use it?
I mean,
It
I'm
recharges.
busy enough that they took your
Oh,
crew.
okay.
Like, I have a...
It has 3 charges and it recharges every day. It's fine.
Well, no. See, one of my bonds is those who fight beside me are worth dying for. So I'm actually feeling okay about blowing up this house.
All
to
right,
get to
let's.
what is necessary. Although it might be seen as an act of is it an act
They
of war if
took-
they take our people?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it? Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's not a moving target. That hit, right?
That hit. It didn't destroy it though. You knocked a chunk out of it, but it's got slightly more hit points than 4.
But wait, do I get to do 2?
Yes. It's got slightly more hit points than 7 too.
A couple bricks flew off.
It's not bricks, so it's like Adobe.
Okay.
It's all one big form with like sort of a structure inside.
All right, so yeah, a couple chunks fell off.
Okay, so this opens
All
the
right.
doors.
Can't one of
Yep.
you use a massive psychic hammer?
Nadar, destroy it.
Good sir.
Like, even if that doesn't kill it, doesn't the hammer move the entire house?
It does.
There! That fucked up that house! Because the house can't take a strength saving throw. The entire house is gone. In fact,
Okay.
shrapnel of it slammed into the house behind it.
Now I'm gonna use my magical wand of like finding doors,
'Kay.
secret doors.
Do you remember how it works?
I just have what I have written down is it opens secret doors. It's expended as an action, 3 charges, and it gains a D3 at dawn.
This is why I tried to correct you the first time. It does not open secret
It just
doors.
points to it.
It points towards
general direction.
a secret or a trap.
Okay, hang on.
So you would like to use it?
Yes.
Okay. Upon using it, it points at the tree.
Awesome.
I see that and I'm just
Awesome.
like, see? This is why you guys should listen to me. I have brains and brawn.
Also, you're full of righteous anger right now. You know. I'm gonna perception check the tree to see if I find anything about the tree.
No,
That
that
points
would
to
be an
the
investigation because you're looking
That
for
would be
something in
investigation?
particular. Yeah.
Okay, then I will roll an investigation check for it. Checking the tree.
So while leaning down to get a closer look at the tree, you
Round.
slip on the mud and bop your head against it and take 1 damage.
Come on, it's like how I got a Are you feeling better?
So
Better?
So hang on, let's explain this real quick. So Alcina like leans in to like maybe there's a button or something, and then like slightly slips
Whacks her head.
on the mud, slams her head into the tree, falls down into the mud. Nadara's like leaning against the tree and just like falls over laughing a bit and accidentally knocks a branch and just a panel opens in the fucking tree.
You feel better?
I do. I
You
feel
better?
great. This is hilarious. The dice gods are doing good things.
Yes.
You know, this is also very like typical Miriam style. How did you deal with something?
You know the best part? I'm not even making this shit up. I even wrote it about the stupid tree. Yes, I wrote about this fucking tree expecting that you all would find it like an hour ago. Just for context, this isn't the only one. Like, half of the buildings have these fucking trees.
Okay.
To be fair, I also didn't expect you to get fucking poisoned. You almost skipped any of you. You almost ended up skipping half of what I wrote because you got poisoned.
By eating the food?
Yeah. And shaking the hands.
Shaking the hands.
Basically, don't take keys from strangers.
Like, hang on.
Is the moral of the story, children.
So yes, would you like to go down the tube?
Yes.
Can we fit?
Oh yeah, this is definitely like made.
Oh, that's right, because they need to explain.
Oh, that reminds. So sorry, before I forget. Additionally, now that you've destroyed the entire house, you can also see that there is a massive root of the tree that also ran through what used to be apparently like a basement for the house.
Mm-hmm.
Like they couldn't get bigger people through it, but there's definitely a route that seems to have a similar. Now that you know what you're looking for, a similar like tree branch switch
Okay,
to
that's
open up a
perfect.
panel underneath the house as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So yes, this tube is very clearly intended for like dropping much larger than grung-sized people through.
All right. So yeah, I say we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's basically a giant goddamn slide,
Cool.
Fun.
which drops you into a massive pool of some sort, which sort of explains the whole why the hell isn't there water for these amphibians.
Yeah.
It's basically about 3 feet deep of water, so all of you are able to just sort of stand with it around like hip height-ish.
Yeah, because I think
Um,
I'm 5'7".
Yeah, and as you start looking around, you can see that there are a ton of these little tubes that all lead into this one massive communal thing. And as you start looking around the room, you can also see that there are larger rooms that are larger passages that seem to lead to like more rooms like this. There are submerged passages that you're afraid you might not be able to fit through. And can I get one last perception check from everybody?
Sure.
So everyone is just sort of looking around like, okay, cataloging all the shit in here, good. And you sort of look up and see, oh! There, at the very top of this room, there's essentially just like a monorail track and a massive sort of bubble-like gondola attached to it. And it appears that there is just a big freaking, like, panels that look like they would open somehow. And with that 26, you're able to sort of figure out that that wouldn't open directly below where our ship is parked, but it would open, like, in the trees just a few feet away from it.
Okay, so that's where they came down.
No, that's not where they came down. You followed the tracks to where they came down.
Okay, sorry.
This is for, like, moving in... Like, these are panels big enough to move an entire ship into here if you needed to.
Ooh.
But there's just you can see that there's an airtight gondola with a very, like, thin layer of water at the bottom of it. And this track seems to go into one of the only large tunnels that goes underwater.
Do you guys want to take the underwater tunnel? I
Well,
think that's
we're actually going to leave off right there.
Okay.
So, I think we'll have to pick up with this next time to see where you all are going to go and see if you can find your missing crew members.
Inside this mysterious underground tree thing, what's it?
Yeah, I will mention that at this point, like, the slides were definitely, like, carved out of tree roots, but in this entire area, it's definitely not all wood. Like, some of it's stone, some of it's metal, it's just sort of whatever was necessary for any given part.
So I was right about this underground shit.
You were, but it was because you weren't following the track. Or, sorry, I was talking about your actual checks. Like, all of your checks were, like, trying to follow these tracks and going, like, there's interesting shit over here. And instead of following the tracks, you were just like, I don't trust this tree. In the end, the tracks were sort of like a false trail, because a bunch of the grungs basically, like, set the people up to go through the chute, and then just went through the one in their own basement.
It was a red herring of sorts.
A little bit.
I meant more of when we were in the ship.
Yes, you were definitely right about that.
Circling the planet and then being like, how are they doing all these things? And I was like, what if it's all underground? So yeah.
Yes, you were right about that.
You did good.
Yay!
So, just for clarification, had you all been poisoned, like I didn't expect would happen, you would have basically just jumped to right here.
Oh.
Which
Oh.
would have probably saved you an hour and 50 minutes, but then you'd also have been all poisoned and turned into slaves and stuff, and who the hell knows what would happen after that.
This was much more fun.
It's way more fun. We even got some combat in today. We were able to
Right.
dust off the
And
furniture.
only because you were really shitty at perception at one
Hey.
point.
Hey.
Yes.
No, not just you. You were unconscious. It was Feline who was terrible at perception and got a natural 1.
I got a one.
Got a natural 1 for spotting that there were 2 reds that stayed behind in the cabin.
Yay.
That was me who spotted that.
No, you
No,
were
no.
unconscious.
I watched them. I found them afterwards.
Yes, you found them
You did
afterwards. I'm
find
talking about who let them, like, stay because you didn't notice them being hidden under the beds.
Yeah.
Fuckers.
So,
Fast.
thank you all so very much for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed this. So, fair warning that we're going to stop streaming. Going to go back to recording our After Soul stuff because Miriam is going to go test her stream, and we're going to see if we can help her out with that.
Yay.
Yes.
So-
I mean, if you guys want to see what I'm doing, feel free to like click on my face.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
just a warning about that.
You want to put something in the chat, Miriam, really quick?
Yeah, just the link to your actual channel.
Yeah.
It will also make it easier for the rest of us to go there. But anyway, thank you all so very much for tuning in. We will see you again tomorrow.
Yay!
I was-
Steamwell.
Yep. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Please consider checking out some of the other videos that are playing alongside this one. And maybe think about checking us out on Twitter, Facebook, our Twitch. We're still running a 365-day streaming challenge. And maybe consider supporting us over on Twitch or on Patreon if you really like what we did, and if you want to get access to some of our other stuff like the Derpy Puppy feed or our Patreon-only stuff. Either way, thanks y'all.